Hi, this is Bonnie from Mystical Remix, and today I am doing a VR, the Tarot Tribe Tag VR from V Love and Crystals, Tarot Tribe Oracle, and the Tarot Magician. I found out about this tag from Jackie from Strength from Tarot, and I decided to hop in and join the fun. So without further ado, I'm just gonna hop right in and get to the questions. I love doing these VRs. But anyway, cool. Number one, how did you get into tarot or oracle? I got into tarot when I was in high school, about 14, 15 years old. I had been really into, I'd really been into astrology at the time, and I was just always into psychic, mystical, paranormal kind of stuff. Happened to go to the bookstore, and I was drawn to a tarot deck, and I just bought it without really knowing too much about it. And I just got really into it. So there's that. Are you drawn to oracle or tarot more, and why? Definitely drawn more to tarot. I think that's just because it was the first system. That was the first, that was the first divination tool that I had become familiar with. Also, around 88, 89, which was around the time that I got my first deck, there really weren't too many oracle decks, or at least it wasn't as known. Tarot in general, there weren't as many decks as you have today anyway, but oracle decks weren't really what they are now. So I naturally gravitated more towards tarot, and still do. I've only recently become more interested in oracles and understanding how to pair decks and to add context and depth through oracles alongside tarot. So I've just recently started adding that to my practice. So that's, long answer, but yes, I'm more gravitated towards tarot. If you could create your own deck, what would it be? I think it would be a vintage inspired deck, but more vintage pop culture. I am a massive, that's an understatement, I'm a big magazine collector. I have a really large vintage magazine collection that spans the duration of the 20th century, and I would love to create a deck that pulls from those as resources. So it would take a lot of research. Probably look at different eras and different decades and see what might work best together. So that would probably be something that I would really love and enjoy working on. Show us your first deck, both tarot and oracle. Cool. So my first ever tarot deck was the Mythic Tarot. And I'm sure a bunch of you have seen this in the past. This is an old, beloved deck for sure. A lot of people you've seen this deck. This is the original Mythic, not the new Mythic. So it's definitely classic. This was the very first deck I ever worked with, and oddly enough, just really weird fun fact, I've never owned an actual RWS, an actual Rider-Waite deck. That artwork just never spoke to me. This is what spoke to me. I was also very into mythology as a kid too, so this deck as my first deck was really, really the first deck I worked with. So that's my first tarot deck. My first oracle deck I just got this year, at the beginning of this year, and it's Heather Hop's Inner Compass Oracle. And it's a really delightful little collage deck, and it packs a really cute nice little punch here. So it's definitely really, really nice. I just really like the artistry. I do like the artistry on this a lot, and I just really take to it and gravitate toward it. So this I got on Etsy, and I definitely like it a lot. And this is the deck that really opened my eyes to, kind of using Oracle as as a tool alongside tarot. So that was my first decks, which is kind of funny. And now that I bought my first one. I've been buying quite a bit more oracle decks lately to kind of balance out my collection and make more pairings and everything like that. So it's pretty cool that I've been doing that. Show your recent tarot oracle or crystal. Don't have recent crystal. I haven't really been I do like crystals. I just don't have a crystal collection. But I will show you my two most recent decks. And the first one is my most recent tarot deck that I just got. Is the Alice Tarot, the Baba Studios Alice Tarot. And this is something that I had been on the fence for a really, really, really long time. And what got me to finally pull the trigger was we're down to our last 20. So if you want it, now or never. And yeah, you can see how it glimmers. The online pictures don't do it justice at all. So it just really, really is a stunning, stunning deck. And their work is just phenomenal. This deck actually speaks to me a lot more than the Mythical Creatures, which was just recently released. And I know that the Baba now has the Fantastic Menagerie up for pre-orders. But if this is the one that resonated with me, and I was really on the fence with it for so long, but I decided to jump at it, and I'm really glad I did. This is, like, in person, this is so amazing. The level of artistry is just off the charts. I have one other Baba deck, and that is the Bohemian Gothic Mini. And that deck is hilarious. It is super hilarious. And I love it for many different reasons. But also the level of artistry is just great with Baba. And they just next level everything. My most recent oracle is the Valletta. Phoenix and Lotus said that they had they found a couple of decks in stock. And I jumped at it because this deck is one of those where I've been seeing online forever, and it was sold out by the time I really, really, really wanted it. And I know this edition is out of print, but I know that the artist Betty is going to be doing a new edition, I think over the summer or fall. And right now, she has her tarot deck on Kickstarter, and I think it has a few more days left. So if you want that, I would say put in for it. The oracle just resonates a lot more with me than a lot more with me. It's just the color palette, the design. Something about this artwork really, really just grabs me. And I think this will work really well with my Morgan Greer. So I just think that boldness of these images alongside that would just look amazing together. And it'll also work well with a lot of other decks. So this was one that I really wanted, and I'm glad the universe had one available, and I grabbed it. So yeah. If you could share a tip with someone learning tarot for the first time, what would it be? I would say, number one, have fun. And also, definitely have fun with it. Study, but don't forget to have a sense of adventure and whimsy. Your practice is going to keep evolving. I remember when I first started all those years ago, I was so rigid in my structure. I was so rigid I was only going to do Celtic crossbreads, and that was all I did was Celtic crossbreads. And I only worked with 2 decks, and that was all I did. And then I realized over the years that different decks have different personalities, and maybe a single card draw, daily draw, might be more informative than doing these massive, big spreads. And then 3 card, your practice is going to continue to evolve. do what works for you, but understand that there's no right or wrong way to tarot, and have fun with it and let your intuition be your compass. Um, First TarotTuber that you followed, I would say that was Don Michelle of Boho Tarot. I really got back into tarot about a year-ish ago, and she was the first TarotTuber that I just started binging. Because I never, like, in all the years that I had been practicing, even with the labs, like, I never journaled. I never thought to journal. I wrote down, like, on scraps, like, the outcomes of my readings or what the cards were, but I never intentionally journaled. And she really shifted my mindset, and watching her videos and how intricate her journals are and everything, I just really, really, really took to it, and really got me to start thinking about how I journal and how to document and preserve, and learn and grow and evolve my practice. So that was definitely super helpful for me. What was your life like before tarot or the holistic path for you? I think I've always been on some kind of spiritual or holistic kind of path, but I would say what really got me back into it, because there was a lapse. And the reason for the lapse is life happens, right? So it's like I'd been practicing for many years around, like, then you get a job, you're in the real world, your work, school, work, home, responsibilities and all of that kind of adulting kind of stuff. And I kind of stopped. I would practice a little and little less. And then what brought me back to the path is, some personal spiritual awakenings, some personal events that happened in my life, starting yoga, quite a number of years ago, starting a meditation practice, led me back, and then some other personal issues called me, like loud and clear, back to the tarot. So, so that's my path. Favorite to go spread, top 3. I don't really have a favorite to go spread. I think for me, what works for me, and it's evolved. What works for me, I love doing daily draws. Sometimes I'm very modular with the way I work. So some weeks I'll do one, like every day I'll do one tarot, one oracle. Some weeks I'll just do an oracle to begin the week and just do a daily tarot every day. When I have a specific question, I might do a 3-card. When I'm doing a spread for somebody else, I might do a more detailed spread. If I have a very in-depth question to ask, I'll customize. So I don't really have like that go-to. I do like making customized horseshoe spreads. Those are my go-to kind of format, I want to say, and the 3-card and the daily draw. So I guess I do kind of have my go-tos, but they're all modular. Most anticipated deck of 2020. Okay, so there are a couple. I am looking forward to the Infernal. So the Infernal Tarot is one that I backed, which I am very excited about. Another one that I'm really looking forward to is Ethany's Modern Love. So like that one I'm really looking forward to. I think those two are my top, and the not released, the top, like, more independently published decks in terms of mass market. I'm really looking forward to Chris-Anne's Muse Tarot to be available, because I missed out on the indie version. Same with the Field Tarot. So I know US Games is going to be releasing the Field. So those are my most anticipated decks. As of right now, that could change. Tarot wishlist. It is quite lengthy. Right now, Dreamweavers is close to the top of that list. I love that Polaroid style. I think it's because I did a lot of photography over the years. That just calls to me, and I think it would work really well with my Threads of Fate. Um, so love that. I'm also have a three-way tie between three ancestral kind of decks. So looking at, I am looking at the Stretch, I am looking at the Antiquarian, and I am looking at the Relative Tarot. I've been doing a lot of research as to which one of the three I really, really want, so I've been looking at that. In terms of oracles, I really want the Usi Supra, but I know that they have another deck coming out that I really, really want. Yeah, there's a bunch. I have a long, long wish list, and I don't have it in front of me, so I can't really go into it. But I know also, this is another one that's really on my wish list, and I think she's gonna be reopening her shop this week, Janissa Jouse. I really want her decks, so those are like wish list items too, and those are pretty much like closer to the upper echelon of that list. Yeah, I have a long. You don't want to know my wish list. It's long, and it keeps growing. And then I have a system of how I grade my wish list. I have an A, B, C system, all of that, because I have to decide what's prioritized. And sometimes if I see like with the Alice, if I see we only have 20 left or we're almost sold out, that seriously, that's the one thing that just moves everything. It just moves everything up. So yeah, the struggle is real. What were your first impressions and fears about tarot? I think when I was younger, like when I first got into tarot, what drew me to it was the psychic ability, because I always felt like I had psychic kind of ability, and I've always been interested in the paranormal, always been interested and felt things and all of that. So I felt like this was going to be a good tool for me to channel that kind of energy. But my fears were the certain cards that you see in a deck, the scary cards. So yeah, you would be. I was afraid of the Death card. I was afraid of the Devil. I was afraid of the Five of Pentacles. I was afraid of the Ten of Swords, etc. Like we all in the Tower. Like we were all for. That I think when you're young and you're first getting into it, and you see these rather jarring images before you really know the meanings and really start studying, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But I think it's pretty normal. Like a lot of people have that same kind of fear about that. Also, like I also was like, oh my god, is this stuff really gonna come true? Am I screwing with fate? No, you're not screwing with fate. You have ultimately like the cards are bringing to light your shadows or issues that might be subconscious, and it's up to you to determine your own fate. So that's kind of my philosophy there. Would you like to start reading? I'm already reading. I guess, would I like to start reading for others? I do read for others. I do it mainly through email, just because I don't feel comfortable doing readings in person, just because I have a process, and because of because I'm an empath, I feel the cards sometimes, so it's hard for me. I'll see the cards, I'll see the spread, and sometimes I really like to create a custom spread. I like to really know who I'm doing the reading for and really kind of feel their energy and choose a deck. That's why I like having a library of decks to call from, because I want to use a deck that resonates with their energies. So that takes a while. But also when I actually have the reading, I could get the story in here, but I can't verbalize it. So it's easier for me to type it out and like have all these abstract thoughts, and then kind of think of it like a research paper. So that's kind of how I work when I'm doing readings for others. So, yes, I do read. I am nervous about reading for others live and in person just because of the way I feel the cards. So, that's kind of my thing. When I even do my own readings, I have a lot of time to meditate and reflect. Have you ever gotten a reading from another reader, and what was my feeling? I got a reading back when I was in college, like in my early 20s, I want to say, like 1920 ish. And I went to a place in the East Village of New York. And I went in there and I was like, I want to, like, okay, I'll take a reading. And then when she put the cards down, she saw my face. She's like, you already know what I'm going to say. And I was like, but go ahead. But she was like, you know what I'm gonna say, and you know what's right for you. You know the cards, and that was kind of interesting because I was still quite a novice at the time, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But I pointed to the Hanged Man card, and I was like, well, it's telling me that I need another perspective, so maybe you have a different perspective for me. And that was kind of interesting. So I would be open to I haven't done a reading with another reader since. I've been just doing readings for myself because I am quite honest, like brutally honest with myself. So a little sometimes too much too. So, and the cards do tell me when I'm being a little too much on myself. But what kind of vibes do I like when I'm working with a reader? I like somebody who's a little chill, who gets me and understands that I have experience with it, and who can give me that alternate perspective. So, yeah, I want somebody who can help me like look at things from a different angle than how I might read it, because everyone has different interpretations. So, I think somebody who I could trust, because it does take a while for me to trust others. So if I have somebody who I would trust and work with, and who can give me an honest but good additional perspective and, kind of way of looking at things and keeping my mind open, that would be awesome. And the last question was like, who would I want to tag? I'm not going to tag anybody in this just because I don't want to call on you. And I don't like calling on people. So just because I wouldn't I wouldn't want somebody to call on me. I found this quite serendipitously, so I would love it if somebody in the tarot community finds this tag serendipitously and decides to jump on it. That's awesome. So if I thank you for watching. If you made it all the way through, I know I've been rambling quite a bit. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, comment, all that good stuff. I have other videos that I want to share, and I have more tags that look like they would be fun to do. So, until next time, thank you for watching, and see ya!